Pleasant good morning to one and all. I say good morning, but wherever you are, greetings, whether it's morning, whether it's evening, whether it's night, wherever you are, greetings, whatever part of the globe, because I'm aware that people watch from all over the globe. So, welcome one and all to this another episode of Speaking Out, exposing corruption and incompetence. Today, Wednesday, what day is today? Today is the 19th day of April in the year 2023. Welcome one and all. And as you know, share the life. Share the life. Don't let us have to always remind you. That should be second thing you do. From the time you sign in and we go live, share the live. People say they're running a bit late, but we now started. We now starting. Today we have so much to tell you. Hope you have the time to sit in class for a long time. And once we come to you, the information that we're bringing, the lessons that we're teaching are so important that people are glued. You don't want to leave. And that is what we will continue to do. Make sure that we bring you the credible information. Things that they're writing, we are going to let you know. Things that you need to know, not only as policemen, but things that you need to know as citizens as well, because many of these things, citizens should know. Citizens should know what your rights are. I mean, the vex, I understand the vex when people, when we shine people, so to speak, the Guyanese term, when we shine you, the vex. But we don't care. We don't care. We will continue to be here to let you know what your rights are. And at the same time, we teach the young policemen because they are not being properly tutored. So that is an issue we have. So we have full, look, let me tell you this. From the time this program is scheduled on YouTube, so many persons are in class just sitting, waiting. Or, when you go to class, it's nice to get to school. You ain't got in the class, you have to go to school early. And you're outside, you play your little games with your friends and so on. You pitch your little marble, you play your little hopscotch. Or you do whatever you do until the school bell rings. And when the school bell rings, school call in. Then you move in and you are there to get your education. So here we are today again. We have to give thanks and praise for being in the land of the living. As I have always said, and we always know, it is a privilege to be in the land of the living. Very privileged. A lot of people are not that fortunate. But here we are in class, ready to give you the credible information. And as I've said, oh my Lord, by the time you go to school, the whole schoolyard packed. People just waiting to get into the class for class to start. This morning we had another record, a number of persons on YouTube just waiting. And I'm going to give you the roll call in a while because I know people anxiously await the roll call to hear who are there and to hear the names calling class. It's good to hear your name called. It's a present sir or present miss. Well, in this case, it's present sir. I am in class. I'm in class. And the fact that people are in class so early shows the enthusiasm that is there. And it encourages us to continue to do our research and to educate you, to inform you of what is going on. I am committed to doing that. I see a man saying, devout. Yeah, you're devout. Yeah, you're devout. Yeah, I know you're devout, man. You got to watch how you say this devout thing, because I learned a few years ago that in the police lexicon, when you hear a man devout, it's just they call you a Deborah. You're devout and you just ain't doing nothing really, and you know the work. You're just getting by. So watch how you use it, Toro. Watch how you're using this devout thing. People say when you're devout is that you're just there. You're just there. You're not making any significant impact, and you're just devout. So watch how you're using that term. Next thing you know, they say you're a Deborah. I know you're not that. I know you're not a Deborah. I know you're not a Volkswagen. I know you are perhaps a Toyota new model with your engine in front. So watch it there, Toro. So welcome one and all. Share the live. And I've been saying to you that you should go to YouTube. Make sure those of you who have not done so as yet, go to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and make sure that you hit the notification button so you can get the notification when the program goes live. And I suspect that many persons are doing that because once we go live, we see people then join in, come to class. So do that. Don't forget to do that. Again, YouTube, subscribe to the channel, speaking out, exposing corruption and incompetence, the notification bell is at the bottom right-hand corner somewhere there. You hit that notification bell, and whenever the program goes live, then you get the notification. So, for example, if we have a special program outside of the regular schedule, I will announce it. But once you subscribe and once you hit the notification button, it means that you're going to get the notification that speaking out, exposing corruption and incompetence has gone live, and therefore you will not be able to miss anything. While I know the programs are all on YouTube and you can sign in at any time and watch any one of the previous programs, a lot of people like to be there to get it live and direct. And that is what the notification button on YouTube will allow you to do. So welcome, welcome, welcome one and all. Welcome one and all. Let me quickly, and I just to let you know, my colleague, my co-host, my co-accused is already in the studio and he is waiting too. But you know, as the headmaster, I have certain obligations, and one of those obligations is to make sure that I do the roll call. So I'm going to do the roll call. A lot of people are here this morning. So as I've said, y'all don't vex with me. The roll call starts with the people who sign in early on YouTube, because that is the way how it is organized. Once we schedule the program, people on YouTube get the opportunity to log in right away. Whereas those on Facebook have to wait until the program goes live at 11 o'clock before they get the opportunity to come on and to make comments. So let me do roll call this morning as quickly as I can to congratulate the man from the UK, Wayne Little. He was the first person here at 7:55 this morning, followed by Lyndon Hopkinson. Then we had Vibert. Vibert was here. Vibert, stay safe, because I saw your comment there that the building next to where you work collapsed yesterday. Those of you who've been following the news, a parking garage in Manhattan collapsed yesterday. Part of it collapsed yesterday. One person was reportedly killed and several others injured. Vibert is saying that he works near to that. So Vibert, stay safe, my brother. Then we had the next person, Evelina was there next. Francis at 8:12. Raheem came in at 8:14. Then we had Hazel next at 8:19. John came in at 8:22. Sydney came in next in class. Well done, those who come in early. Then we have Pito, ex-policeman 8152, Pito from Queens. Pito, I remember Pito very well. We had some good times. I think we even had a little stint in the interior when I went there to do some work some years ago, and then he came and joined me at the TSU. Then we have Derek, regular. Derek can miss it. Welcome, Derek. Raul Redman is here. Welcome. He came in at 8:30. Then my squaddy, 9430, Lois was here. And then we had Como coming in next at 8:34, 8218. He didn't put his number up this time, but I remember the number, Como, 8218. He's from New Jersey. He's here. Then we had from all the way from Orlando, Colin Allen was from Orlando. He came in. Then we had Patricia at 8:39. Patricia Z. Isabella came in shortly thereafter. Then we have Carlisle coming in at 8:44. Jakey, you see there's a Carlisle Jacobs and a Gavin Jacobs, and then down the line, I see there's a Wayne Jacobs. The whole Jacobs family is here, man. Welcome to class. Then we have Jacko from Georgia. Jacko, welcome. Then Sagi, 9602, Sagi, all the way from the quarantine. Sagi is here. Then we had John at 8:59. Everett at 9 o'clock on the dot. Everett came to class. Then we have Melissa. Then we had Lynette from the UK. Lynette came in at 9:01. And Sean, you're early, but you're late. Sean, the ex-sergeant Sean, you're early, but you're late. You know what I'm saying? Then we had Maury. Maury came in at 9:14. And then we had Maureen came in next. Excuse me, at 9:15. Then Kudowashi came in at 9:16. Stefan. Noble, how you do, boy? I remember Noble from Brickdam. I remember. Good to see you. I can't recall seeing you before, but welcome to class. Then Natasha was here at 9:24. Stian came in next. And all the way from Jamaica, Portmore, Jamaica, Dudley, my friend. Welcome, Dudley. Then Princess from Lamar Springs came in. And then I had two squaddy back-to-back. Carl from Arizona came in at 9:37. And Gaston, 9556, he came in here at 9:44. He's from Ontario, Canada. Then we had Brian in class next. CC, your partner, John was here at 9:48. John Knights, welcome, John. And then we had Troy at 9:51. Winston in class at 9:53. 9795 Young from Canada. He came in Toronto, Canada. Terrence came in here at what time? He came in here very early as usual. Then I referred to the other Jacobs. Wayne came in here this morning. Then we had, after Wayne in class, all the way from the UK again, Oren came in from the UK. Oren came in. Then we have man say from Turkine, Schwartzy, Leon, welcome. Welcome, Leon. Then we had at 10:13, Felicia came in at 10:13. Daniel came in shortly after at 10:21. Then we had Duan here at 10:29. Bonita at 10:30. Jean at 10:30 as well. Kevin came in at 10:31. Vernon at 10:32. Lennox at 10:33. Sheena came in here at 10:35. And you see how many people we have in class. And then my girl, man, Tessa G came in at 10:36. Barbara came in at 10:37. Fort Welly came in here at 10:38. Then another squad of mine, a lot of squad mates are Doreen, W349. She came in at 10:40. Floyd came in at 10:51. Patricia in class at 10:52. And then when we went live, the secretary was here. Daddy is welcome. Welcome. At 10:59. Rashley at 10:59. Elise says she's back. I know Elise had some issues to deal with, and she's back now in class. Always good to see these people in. John came in at 10:59. Raul, a regular, came in here at 10:59 as well. Petel, W385, I think it was, came in here at 10:59. And then who we had? We had Winston from Ontario, California. Then we had Aileen, another regular. These are Facebook people. Then Colin, 717. Popo, Carlton rather, Popo. Canty was here. Lynette, again, from Barbados. Ella is here. Always good to see these people around. Yolanda, Emerson, Yolanda, and all of them. I see Ulrich and all of these people. As I said, if I continue, we ain't got to start the program. So later on, I'll come back and to do some more roll calling. But for now, let's be, as I said, this is the day that the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. We are happy to be in the land of the living, and therefore we should give praise and thanks to the Almighty for allowing us to be here. Well, let me move on and say I want a big shout out to Deputy Commissioner Dr. Paul Williams, who's celebrating his birthday today, my countryman. Paul, happy birthday to you, my brother. And I know the number that you're now into the home stretch, so make sure you continue to walk safe. You know, the daggers are out for you. They have always been against you. But you know, you're a man of God. And once you're a man of God, no evil can do you anything. So happy birthday, my brother. And also want to say belated birthday greetings to Budram, the Assistant Commissioner Admin, no, his operations rather. Budram celebrated the birthday recently. Toro, Patrick also celebrated the birthday recently. Patrick, you have reached that golden number. You have reached that golden number. I'm right behind you. I am right behind you. So, belated birthday greetings. And another regular in the program celebrated the birthday recently. Court Caesar celebrated the birthday recently. So, I want to wish you all happy birthday. And I said we're glad to be in the land of the living. Some are not that fortunate. And I'm sure you would have seen or you would have read about the death of the presidential guard rank, Narain, of the presidential guard. He died in an accident a few days ago. I'm going to speak some more about that later in the program, about these accidents, and this one in particular. So condolences to the relatives and friends of that person. And then we also saw the last evening I heard of the death of retired Corporal 13312 Blair, Curtis Blair. He has some of the quarantine, and the story is that he was found, he lives alone, and yesterday his son went there after not hearing from him and found him dead in his house there at on somewhere on the quarantine. So condolences to those the relatives of those persons. And when we see these things, we have to give praise and thanks, because we are fortunate to still be in the land of the living. But let me bring in my colleague, co-conspirator, co-host, CC. Mr. Conway, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Paul. Good morning to your viewers or listeners. Always say happy to be in the land of the living, to do God's work. And I want to join with you to say happy birthday to my good friend, Dr. Paul Williams. Although I know he's not a real a blow man, but he had several candles more to blow out. Belated birthday greetings to Budram, and my sympathy to the relatives and friends and family of Corporal Narain and ex-Corporal Blair. May their soul rest in peace.
Yeah. One moment. Yes, it's really sad. Let me remove this. That wasn't intended to be played now. It's really sad when these things happen, and as I say, condolences to those persons. And the frequent accidents on the roads, you see, something should be of concern to all of us. It should be of concern to every single Guyanese. We have been speaking on this program repeatedly about the problems relating to driving in Guyana, from the acquisition of the driver's license to the manner in which the people use the road, to the enforcement, lack of enforcement, lax enforcement, no proper plan, no proper strategy to deal with these things. And therefore, these things continue to happen. People drive on the road in a very reckless and dangerous manner. And the accident involving the rank from the presidential guard, let me just show you all a brief clip of what actually transpired. Then you make a judge. You judge it for yourself. You judge it for yourself. Look at what took place there. This is a video from the vehicle itself that the corporal was driving. That is when the accident actually occurred, right? Actually occurred at that time. Let me show you once again. Look exactly. Look and see what happened there. Look and see what is taking place there. Police vehicle. I will take the police vehicle, and you have this accident. These things can be avoided. These things can be avoided with a little bit more care and caution and common sense. And only last night again, there was another accident. Well, yesterday I think it was first. There was an accident on the highway. Look at what is shown. Look. Let me show it to you folks. Look, this is in the aftermath of the accident in the highway, of which one man died and another is seriously injured. Right, look at what.
Man, they in there.
And in many of these accidents,
this one they in this seat.
Is somebody driving, losing control, and then crashing in, turning over, crashing into the utility pole, or running off the road. And that speaks to speeding and driving recklessly, because if you're driving at a careful speed, these things can't happen. If something were to think you ought to be able to control the people, but people are driving so dangerously, so recklessly, so fast that when they are confronted with the situation, they don't have any time to react. That is what that is the reality. Let me take this one. That is the reality. And then I have a next one to show you of one happened last night someplace. Let me see if I have it here. And I'm showing you these things so that people can be more careful on the road. We're not trying to sensationalize anything. This is some truck. Sometime last night, I'm not sure where it is, which part of Guyana it took place. But that is what you have. That is what you have. I don't think this one, luckily no one died from this accident. But that is what we have. And once people continue to use the road in this manner, in this careless manner, you're going to have all of these accidents occurring. And then coupled with that, or to compound the whole thing, you don't have any proper strategy by the authorities to deal with it. You don't have any. And I challenge them, if they have, let the public know how do you plan to deal with all of these road accidents, especially fatal accidents. Transferring the traffic heads cannot solve the problem. Telling people the things that the man who sits in the chair tell them the other day will not solve the problem. That's what you have. And when you look, apart from the problem with injuries and all of that, cost to the economy to repair in terms of injuries and spare parts and all of this everything, it is time that it is declared a national emergency, a public health emergency, and be dealt with in a comprehensive, holistic manner. This piecemeal effort, you're adjusting a legislation here, or you're coming out with some statement here, will not work. Mr. Conway, your comments, please.
Yes, Paul. And, the thing is that it's alarming, and on the surface of it, it might not get better. Paul, we need to discuss maybe on the next program. The police, they have a plan. They have a strategic plan to deal with traffic, and we need to look at it. It is piss poor, I must say. And the thing is that, as a man put it, he said the enforcement wheels, traffic enforcement wheel of the police, the wheels are blown off, and the enforcement vehicles is operating on its axles. So you know what's going on. That they don't have any real strategic plan to. They have something in writing, but oh gosh, if you look at it, we bring it to the attention of our viewers or listeners maybe on the next program. But it's frightening that it appears though it's going to get worse.
Well, God forbid that it gets worse, because it's as bad as it is now. Almost definitely every week we come on the program, there are more deaths every week. And I recall, as I said some time ago, when the Ministry of Home Affairs issued a statement, they were speaking about 32, which the people proved to be wrong. The media people are doing their own cataloging of these fatal accidents, and they come with all kind of things to say, well, it's not a fatal accident, it's a fatal incident. They do all sort of things to give people the impression that things are better than they are. But we are seeing it on a daily basis. We read the news, we see it, we look at social media, we see the video. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. A video is worth 1,000,000 words. We see it, so we know what is going on. So, and then there's another accident that I want to talk about. There is, I saw a gentleman, what's his name? I have it written, Mr. Dungs, Alan Dungs. This as a businessman. Partly according to the story, this man walks early on the road in the morning to exercise. And they're saying that on this morning, he was struck down by some vehicle. And the police, they claim that the traffic chief gave us a report to say that he attempted to cross the road, and in that process, he was struck by some vehicle. But the man's daughter, I have a statement here that she gave on social media. And she said, well, let me go through it. This is dated the 14th of April. She said the police called on the evening of Thursday the 13th at 6:35 p.m. to advise us, that is the family, that we can visit Torkine Police Station the next morning to view the footage of the accident, which we have been requesting to view since the day of the accident. So they asked us to view the accident. She said the footage clearly shows that the vehicle driven by a certain person, she called the name, better known as what? Auto mechanic and spray paint shop, was proceeding east along Rupert Craig Highway, passing the UG Junction, and suddenly veered off to the northern corner of the highway, hitting our father, Alan Dungs, then swerving to the southern lane before returning to the northern lane to a complete stop. So she said the vehicle swerved to the left, presumably where Mr. Dungs was walking, struck him, swerved back to the south, then swerved back to the left and stopped. That is what they are saying. They said the driver stopped for approximately 30 seconds, then slowly drove off, fleeing the scene of the accident and failing to render assistance to our father, who was left for dead at the side of the road with severely critical head injuries. She said, so it is clear that Mr. Alan Downs was not crossing in the path of the vehicle from north to south, which was reported by the traffic chief. She said the traffic chief was incorrect in saying so. Then she goes on to say, we, the family, are somewhat concerned that the police, after viewing the footage themselves, would still provide information which they know is incorrect. Right? So she would also like to emphasize that the injuries sustained behind both of my father's knee are a clear indication that he was struck full from behind. She said he still remains severely critical. Now, my prayers, and I wish Mr. Dongs, I don't know Mr. Dongs, I don't know the family, but I saw it, and I said I should comment, we should comment on this. I don't know Mr. Dongs. But again, it's a credibility issue. So she's saying that the version given by the police, the traffic chief, she said, I did not see that, but she's saying the version given by the traffic chief is that Mr. Dongs attempted to cross the road, and in that process, he was struck and seriously injured. She said the footage, what the police show the family, contradicts what the police is saying. She said, and more than that, this man, it done the person, knocked down Mr. Dongs, according to the report, came out, that's what the evidence show, came out, went back into his car, drove away, never offered assistance. The person is known. The person is known. I wonder if the police will issue a wanted bulletin for that person. The person is known. And like everything else, allegations are made that because of who the person is and who the person is connected to, the police have not taken the appropriate action. Again, traffic chief come out with a statement. The thing is contradicted by the video evidence. Credibility issue. So nobody believes whatever the police saying now. The police rush to give these fanciful statements, these mendacious statements. And when you, in the age of video camera and CCTV camera, the thing is easily contradicted. Easily contradicted. Mr. Conway, your take on this, please.
Yeah, I saw the video. I heard the story of the relatives of the victim, and it is alarming. From my information I got is that within hours the driver was arrested at his home. He was taken into custody, and they didn't do like what they do with Ogun say. They didn't give us 72 hours. In a very short time, he was sent away on bail. But the thing is, what happened with the report? They should have run with to use some famous word, they should have run with breakneck speed. File should have been at the DPP, even you move with it by hand, and make sure that investigation is properly done, not only by the traffic ranks. When certain offenses, serious offenses, you bring in the CID to assist you, and you do a proper investigation. By now, it should have been done, and by now they should have gotten advice. I hear the file at the DPP. And here the BPP say we only get it 2 weeks ago. You know, justice must be swift, justice must be certain, and justice must be appropriate, Paul.
Well, I agree. You made an important point there about CID's involvement in the investigation of certain accidents. You know, There was a time, I don't know if you remember, I'm sure you would remember that, but this is just for the information of our viewers and the young policemen and the not so young policemen and all of those who are there. We know they listen. We know they listen attentively. Whether they are good students, I don't know, because listening is one thing, but whether you learn, that is something else. Now, not so long ago or many years ago, the fatal accidents were investigated by the Criminal Investigations Department of the Guyana Police Force. I remember when I joined as a special constable in 1973, and for some time thereafter, that is what transpired. Once you have a fatal accident, CID took over because fatal accident requires detailed statement taking by persons who are trained to do so. It may involve taking caution statement from the driver and all of that. And therefore, CID was the person who was charged with investigating fatal accident. But then it came a time when you had qualified and properly trained traffic ranks, and it moved from CID to traffic. But in light of all that is going on, maybe the authorities may want to consider having the CID investigate fatal accidents, because I've said fatal accident calls for proper statement taking, caution statements, and all of that. But what is based on what is going on now, I don't know that the traffic ranks are capable of conducting a proper thorough investigation, taking proper statement, taking caution statement, and all of that. So there's something for the authorities to ponder. You know, we share these nuggets here, and as I said, I know they listen. I know they listen, and it is something to be considered at this time, right? So since you made that a very good point you made about statement taking
If
and
if
all of
if,
that.
if I may come in here, Paul,
Yes,
I
please.
remember when I remember when I was Commander Borbis, and I had a detective officer. His name is Armstrong. I think he retired as a senior superintendent. He was very thorough, perhaps the best detective officer I ever worked with. And the traffic men in terms of field accent used to try to bypass him. They're not sending the file to him because he used to write even more than a DPP. He was thorough, thorough, thorough. So they used to send the file direct to me. And I used to smile. And I minuted back. Detective officer, your comments, please. So he used to get back the file and deal with it. That is important that you do a thorough investigation and get the CID involved. But I don't know if they have the quality like Philip Armstrong about the place anymore.
Well, I know Philip. I know Philip. Philip was me by. Yeah, was still is me by. We tease each other very often. Once we catch up with each other, it's tantalized. I know Philip very, very well. And you're right, because when I was at Brickdam at some stage, Philip worked with me in West Demerara, and then again at Brickdam. Philip is the right man. When Philip goes through a file and the file comes to you as a commander, you are confident that the matter was properly investigated, because Philip will never cause a file to come to you, the commander, without making sure that all the bases were covered. He was not the conveyor belt like a certain man who was there at a division with me as the detective officer. He was known as a conveyor belt. In other words, whatever is given to him, he forwards it to the commander, and then he said to seek legal advice. Never made any comments, never went through it. And them is the people who are being praised now as doing so well. Basic dunces. So I understand what you're saying. Now, the next issue, um, last week we spoke about disciplinary matters, and I made the point, which I am challenging them to contradict, that the disciplinary process in the force has broken down to the point where you have very few officers who can conduct a proper disciplinary inquiry. They don't know how to conduct a disciplinary inquiry. The few of them who are there to conduct a disciplinary inquiry, they hold themselves out as magistrates. So they sit there and they listen to the evidence and they decide that is not the role of an inquiring officer. But then it came to my attention during the course of the week that there's a problem in the system, in that you have many officers, some of them holding senior ranks. And when we talk about senior ranks in this forum, we are talking about sergeant and corporal. A senior officer in the Guyana Police Force is a rank from superintendent upward. That is a senior. Junior officers are from cadet officer to deputy superintendent. Senior officers are from superintendent to commissioner. So when we talk in this forum about senior officers, we are talking about officers holding the rank of superintendent and above. And we understand that they have senior officers who have not been sworn as ex officio justices of the peace. Now, let me explain for the benefit of our viewers, and then CC will come in and you will come in to supplement it. Now, when you are promoted to the rank of an assistant superintendent, that's a gazetted rank. You're promoted to the rank of assistant superintendent, and there is a process for you to be sworn as an ex officio justice of the peace, meaning that you are a justice of the peace by virtue of your office in the Guyana Police Force, your office as an officer, as a gazetted officer, assistant superintendent, and above. Now, in terms of the conduct of an inquiry, in order for you to conduct a disciplinary inquiry, you must be an ex officio justice of the peace. So, merely being an officer does not permit you to conduct an inquiry. You have to be an ex officio justice of the peace. In other words, the papers are prepared, go through the system, AG's chamber and all of that. Then it goes to the magistrate, and the magistrate, they will send you there, and you have to hold the holy book. You swear or you affirm. You swear or you affirm. And again, this is teaching. You swear when you raise the holy book, whether it's the Bible, the Quran, or the Gita, and you swear. You affirm because you might be a person who don't believe in any one of those books. You might be an atheist. So the law provides that if you don't believe, you make an affirmation. And the affirmation has the same effect as if you had actually sworn. So again, teaching. So understand that. So you go to the magistrate and you swear or you affirm, and then you sign the necessary book. You are now an ex officio justice of the peace. And why that is necessary? Now, again, police officers, again, I like you all references, so you can go and read for yourself. Now, if you were to read Section 6.4 of the Police Discipline Act, Chapter 17:1, and let me read what it says for you, and you will go and read yourself. It says, any witness who shall willfully give false evidence at any inquiry into charge for an offense against discipline is guilty of perjury under Section 327 of the Criminal Law Offences Act and is liable to be prosecuted and punished accordingly. So there you have it. So you have to be an ex officio justice of the peace in order to administer an oath. So when you come to the inquiry, remember the inquiry that you're conducting, persons have to give evidence on the oath, and the oath is administered as you as an ex officio justice of the peace. So if you're not an ex officio justice of the peace, you're not empowered to administer the oath. And as it points out, I pointed out there, the law says that if a person comes to an inquiry and perjures himself, like what Mark Phillips did in the affidavit, or what Jai Singh from the Service Commission did in an affidavit, they're going to tell a lie in an affidavit. That is what perjury is. They say in an inquiry, disciplinary inquiry. So even though it's a disciplinary inquiry, if you go and you tell lies, you can be charged for perjury under the Criminal Law Offences Act, Chapter 801, Section 327 of Chapter 801. So, and then there are more reasons too that you are required to be an ex officio justice of the peace. For example, when you deal with public order, there are provisions under the Criminal Law Offences Act for proclamations to be read by the police officer. And again, you have to be a justice of the peace to read a proclamation for it to have any force or effect. So y'all read these things and understand. And the problem is nobody is teaching you these things. So you're going out there and you're doing the incorrect thing. And even them who sit down in these positions calling themselves deputy commissioner and all kind of thing, they don't know. So if they don't know, they can't teach anyone. And for the few of them who might have an idea that this is the correct thing, they are not passing the knowledge on. So we have taken it on ourselves to make sure that you guys know what the correct thing is. Mr. Conway, you want to say anything on that, please?
Yeah, I must come in here, and you were quite correct that you got to be an ex officio. That the thing is that there are numerous members of the force, some who are assistant commissioners and they weren't sworn. They didn't go in front of the magistrate and take that out of office. A whole lot of them, from assistant superintendent right up to assistant commissioner, they have not yet taken the oath. And I can remember, when I was a corporal in F Division office, I think in the early 80s, there was an officer named Samuel Sam. I think he was, 8 years an assistant superintendent. And he tried a matter there at 7300 Harpal. Harpal was stationed at Lethem. And they recommended that Harpal be reduced in rank. Lloyd Barker was the commissioner. And Harper appealed. And he appealed that Samuel Sam, who was a assistant superintendent for X amount of years, did not take the oath. He was not an ex officio, and therefore he said the whole trial was a nullity. And they had to give back Harper his stripe, Harper his stripe, and he wore his stripe until he later came out of the work. So the thing is that as long you didn't go in front of the magistrate and take the oath, you can inquire into any disciplinary matter. Even when we were members of the Police Service Commission, we had to go in front of the magistrate and take the oath so that we could inquire into matter. So it is important, it is critical that they do the record keeping and make sure that all those persons who are not sworn as justice of the peace, as ex officio members, that they put systems in place and ensure that they are properly sworn to inquire into disciplinary matters.
Well said, my brother. I hope they make note and I hope they fast track. I hope they move with breakneck speed because the
Yeah.
Attorney General's chamber is involved in this process. I hope they move with breakneck. He's familiar with that phrase, breakneck speed, to have this thing done. Or we can say 7,300 are part. Now, Ulrich, CC and others, I just got some very sad news that I think I have to pass on at this stage. I would just advise, look, I'm putting it up here, that Sergeant 73 Gerald Johnson passed away last night in New York. Gerald Johnson, 7305. I remember Jano very, very well. Old traffic rank from traffic headquarters. One of the best limited over bowlers in the Guyana police force. Jano was a second division cricketer. He played North Coast cricket. Let me wax with some of these things. Go back into the archives. Jano 7305 Gerald Johnson was a regular in the police North Coast team. That is the second division team. I don't know what is the equivalent now. In those days, you had Case Cup, which was the senior team. You had North Coast, which was the intermediate cup in Guyana, and then you had White Cup, which is the lower class. Now, Jano was a good bowler in the North Coast at second division. However, when it came to knockout cricket, whether it was Bristol Cup or at one time it was Ratman, whatever cup they name it.
Ratmans, yeah.
Whenever it came to the limited over cup, Gerald Johnson was one of the leading bowlers in that senior team, along with people like Carey, you had Carey, and all of those notable cricketers. But I'm saying that, and this is important, Ulrich, I'm sure you remember this, that even though he was a second division cricketer, regular in the second division, when it came to the limited over cricket, Jano commanded a place as an opening bowler, as a swing bowler. He commanded a place in the senior limited over team. So my condolences to Jano, to the relatives and friends of Jano. I know Carey, he played alongside Carey. I don't know if Carey know Carrington, Hubert Carrington, Calvin Burnett. He played against people like Calvin Burnett. Eddie Nichols, who became an umpire. He played alongside all of those people. So I'll have to pass the word on to them that Gerald passed away last night in New York. So again, condolences to the relatives and friends of Gerald, and may his soul rest in peace. CC, do you remember Jano?
Yeah, I remember, man. And I used to follow those cricket, man, whether it's at Everest or Maltinos or DCC or GCC. I used to be there. I used to be there watching, and especially on weekends, those cricket used to be like war, especially police against GDF or police against DCC. I remember those things, and he was an excellent bowler.
Yeah, lad, he was a tall traffic crank. You remember him well. Rick said yes, he remember. And Carl is asking how old was Jano. Jano had to be in his 70s. He had to be in his 70s. I know he left a long time ago. And I see permission granted for you to join. Mike Sergeant Michael Brower asking for permission to fall in and cover down. So permission, Ingrid and all of these persons who are here. Yeah, so I just got that news. Thought I'll share it with you. Now, a next thing that came to attention, CC, um, well, hold on, Terrace is not Wade, is Wade from Quartermaster, is he passed away recently to left hand spinner, White. What was his name? Somebody will tell me. The guy who was from the Quartermaster store used to left arm spinner in the senior team with Cameron and all of those persons. He passed away in Canada not so long ago. I'm not sure it's Wade. The Wade doesn't strike a bell. Anyhow, um, it was reported, CC, that a man who used to drive, the man who sits in the chair, allegation was made against him, serious allegation, right, of sexual assault or sexual misconduct, I should say, not assault, made against him. The matter was investigated, the file sent to the DPP for legal advice. And it was advised that he be charged. I understand that the advice was given since January of this year, January. And they do all manner of things. Let me interrupt. As the man was Wade, not Keith, Francis Wade, not Wade, Francis. Oh, right, correct. Thanks, Brian. Francis Wade, that was the person, left hand spin bowler. Yeah, and the DPP advised that this person that used to drive the man who sits in the chair should be charged. And they do all sort of things to duck the charge. They did everything. The ducking, they didn't want to charge him because of the persistence of the victim's family. He was eventually charged. He appeared in court, I think it was Monday, and charged for sexual grooming. He charged with sexual grooming of a minor and threatening behavior. Now, what is it we have? What's going on in this place? The man, allegation is made that this man was grooming a minor. He grooming a minor. The matter investigated. Advice given for him to be charged since January, and they're trying to duck it. It's a good thing the relatives and of the victim, they were dogged in their pursuit of justice, and he appeared in court on Monday, and I think he's on bail. That he charged you sexual grooming of a minor, and this is an offense committed, I understand, since September last year. Sexual grooming of a minor and threatening behavior. I don't know what are the circumstances of the threatening behavior, but they try to duck that. And here this too, this is one of the men who got promoted on July 2nd last year by the not so properly constituted Police Service Commission. The man promoted to inspector. The man is promoted to the rank of inspector. He get charged for sexual grooming now, and he used to be the driver of the man who sits in the chair. So there's where we get CC your comments, please.
Yeah, I know about it, and as you mentioned, it's only because the relatives were very aggressive to ensure that justice is done, at least to see that it before the court. It doesn't mean to say if you get charged that you're guilty, but let due process prevail. Let the law take its course. And I'm happy that, action was taken. He appeared before the magistrate, placed on bail, and let due process continue.
Yeah, due process, man. As you say, there's a presumption of innocence. And the problem is you have in Guyana, a lot of people shout that they're innocent, but they don't want to go through the process to prove their innocence. They will go to the DPP, get the DPP to withdraw the charge, and they will do all manner of things. These are the people who proclaim innocence. They run to the court to get disciplinary charges stopped, and they do all manner of things, and they are innocent. If you are innocent, you must feel comfortable of going through the process and be properly vindicated in a court of law. So I am glad that the family persisted in this matter, and the matter is now before the court. Let's see what will come out of that. And I saw too, CC, you see these things that I didn't see it. I overheard that the man who is alleged, the policeman who is alleged to have stolen the First Lady's ring, I understand that the part company with it, I understand he get dismissed. I don't know if they went through any legal process or all of that, but these people don't get no regard for legal processes and constitution and all of that. But we understand that the man get dismissed. I hope that now he's dismissed, he might be more comfortable in telling the story, what caused him to steal this ring, or what caused them to make the allegation that he stole the ring. But I understand that he is dismissed now. So, CC?
Yeah, I was told that they called him and served him with a letter terminating his service. I think he had any trial that he accepted. But the thing is, when they're not forthright, when they don't come forward and tell us a story, they open up themselves for a lot of conspiracy theory, for a lot of allegations. I've been hearing so much of things that I can't even mention them on this program. Come forward, complain and say, well, this is it. The thing is that no system is perfect. No system is perfect. Somebody will do something wrong. Somebody going to screw up somewhere along the line. Even with Jesus Christ and all, Judas betray him. Even according to the Bible, Satan was an archangel and he go against the Lord and these kind of things. So things will happen. Things will happen. But when it happens, we must be able to come forward and say exactly what it is. Let the public know. If you continue to be hiding things, a lot of conspiracy theory will come into play. People are going to assume a whole lot of things. And we still to know what exactly took place.
Now let me Ian Pito is asking, and Ulrich too, he's asking if this man, the inspector who is charged with sexual grooming, has been interdicted. Well, that is a conundrum right there, and then right there now you have the issue, because he can only be lawfully interdicted by the Police Service Commission, which is as currently is not duly constituted. That is what the Chief Justice ruled. So even though they have gone ahead and they have made promotion, even though they have gone ahead and they are taking disciplinary action against the rank city force, those things are illegal. Only the Constitution says only the Police Service Commission can take those actions. And the fact that he's an inspector, Ulrich Ian, only the Police Service Commission, a duly, lawfully constituted Police Service Commission, can interdict him. And if you don't have a lawfully constituted Police Service Commission, he cannot be lawfully interdicted. However, having regards to the fact that they have been disregarding the Constitution, perhaps they have done so, but it will not be lawful. See?
That's true, because the Chief Justice was very clear that they cannot deal with promotions, they cannot deal with disciplinary procedure, they cannot deal with removal of office unless the chairman of the Public Service Commission is made a member. And there's no Public Service Commission, and there's no chairman. So they are the standstill. They can't do anything they do is illegal, ultra-virus, the Chief Justice order.
And I got right. So thank you very much for that. So for the past month or so, or perhaps even longer than that, I've been told that there is a police vehicle parked up in Eccles every day. Let me show the picture. This police vehicle, is seen parked in Eccles every day, and people are asking why. And as you indicated a while ago, people are speculating. I understand, based on what they're saying, is that apparently somebody live in this area, some influential person, and that is the information I got, lives in this area. And this might be, let me see how best to put it. This vehicle parking here, ostensibly to to offer security and protection is a run-ins. That's how Guyanese has put it. I understand that is the run-in. So it is not something that is officially sanctioned, but, well, let us say officially sanctioned at the highest level, I understand, right? I understand it's people walking cow. Guyanese can understand what I mean. The person who is protected is alleged to be greasing the palms of certain people, and then they have a police vehicle parked up there. They say, oh, the people tell me that this vehicle is parked there all day. The engine running, air condition blowing, and the men sit down there enjoying themselves, listening to music and doing whatever else they do in this vehicle. That is the way how a particular police vehicle is utilized, and people still complain that when you go to police stations to make report, they're telling you, sorry, we ain't got no vehicle to deal with it now. So I thought I'll bring that to the attention of those who I know that has listened. And here, let me tell you something. Now that I have exposed it, we can look to see if tomorrow and days following, the vehicle will continue to be there. Because I suspect by now, almost immediately, somebody don't pick up a phone and calling to find out what's going on here. What Slow talking about is true. What Conway talking about is true. But that is the information. And this picture that I got here was a picture taken yesterday. It was a picture taken yesterday, Tuesday, the 18th day of April 2023. So let me see what could happen. All these run-ins. Yes, they runs and they're out long. And I get a good memory. So all these running, they're running cow. They're doing stuff, collecting money and all of that. So so that is the thing. And then there's the next one here. So Cheryl asking who died. Cheryl, ex-sergeant 7305 Johnson, Gerald Johnson, we understand he died last night. Like, so that is what we understand. Now, there's another disturbing matter. And remember, folks, when I gave the notification for the program today, I said we're dealing with the crimes in the police, crime report. We're still dealing that. Yeah, Sean, side hustle. You know the thing. Hope you never Sean is saying the thing is known as a side hustle. But this is not no side, Sean. This is a full-face hustle. This is a full-face, bare-face hustle. Because I can't understand you doing a side hustle with a marked police vehicle and it's there every day. So we got to reclassify that, Sean. And they say, yeah, they say the police service commission can't interdict him. How then can they make a promotion? Well, they cannot. They cannot lawfully make a promotion. They cannot lawfully take discipline, but the Guyana is a lawful place. Constitution doesn't matter. The court ruled the other day that the president violated the Constitution, and you're hearing nothing. I think on Sunday, one member of parliament wrote a letter in the newspaper. That's the extent of the reaction to that. Now, they got a matter, another disturbing matter, CC, that we got to talk about. And this is, again, part of the process of education. It is reported that a man was robbed somewhere. Well, we're not sure where he was robbed. They say people went into his car, robbed him of his cash, his cell phone, his bank card, and some Xbox. The victim went to the nearest police station, which is Prashad Nagar Police Outpost, to make this report. When he got to the outpost to make the report, the police told him that the robbery did not take place in their jurisdiction. He has to go to Torkine police station to make the report. So the man said, imagine he get robbed, all the money gone, his cell phone. He can't call anybody to assist. So he had to walk now from Prashad Nagar Police Outpost to Torkine Police Outpost to make this report. Luckily for him, in the process, along the way, he saw a friend who gave him a drop to Torkine Police Station, where he made the report. On this program, many episodes ago, we addressed the issue of what we call in-transit report. We addressed the issue of in-transit report, and maybe we need to go over it again. First of all, once a report is made, victims of crimes ought not to be concerned with police station and jurisdiction. The police in Guyana is a national police. You have jurisdiction 83,000 square miles. or 216,000 square kilometers. Yeah, 216. A certain man was a foreign affairs minister. He was at a meeting, and when the person said Guyana is 216,000, sorry about that, he turned to one of his assistants. Let me repeat that. There was a certain man who was a minister of foreign affairs in Guyana. He went to a certain forum, and when the people said that Guyana was 216,000 square kilometers, he expressed surprise. The man looked surprised, and then he turned to somebody close to him and said, "But the wrong is all of that. Is all of that. You always hear about 83,000 square miles, and the thing converted to 216,000 square kilometers, and the man was befuddled. Couldn't understand all that. Yeah, so it's 83,000 square mile or 216,000 square kilometers, approximately. That is the area of Guyana. So police in Guyana is a national police. And if a crime occurs in any part of Georgetown, the person can go to the closest police station and make the report. And as we said, but in transit report, and let me say this isn't like in, let me say, America and all those places where they have different jurisdiction, local, state, federal, and all of those type of thing, right? This is a national police. And therefore, if the person goes to Prashanagar and make the report, they should take the report. They're obliged to take the report and do what we call an in-transit, take an in-transit report. Mr. Conway, let me tell these young policemen, you go, you make the report, they should take the report, they should even take statements from the victim and all of that, and then they do the in-transit, it goes to the appropriate station, and then they take it up from there. See, let me hear something here, man.
That's true, and is as you already mentioned, and it is one Guyana police force, one Guyana police force. The person come in, you accept the report. Normally, they get the message sent book and you circulate a message to the station concern. And for the matter, you pick up the phone and call the station. And even that also, as a matter of courtesy, the person, if the police vehicle is available, you use the police vehicle and let it drop it to the other station. All this would be done. But perhaps they can't drop no bomb with any person with any police vehicle because the police vehicle they park up at Eccles.
Well, exactly. Brenda, I don't know that. let me let me put up what Brenda say there, man. Brenda said the man turned to Anthony Shavir and asked him that is so. That's the same man when he had 216,000 a foreign affairs minister. When he heard that Guyana is 216,000 square kilometers, Brenda is saying he turned to Tony Shavir and asked if it's true. But he's all I understand how the boss. He said, wait, is all of that? That is true? Is all of that? So that is what we have. So that is the lighter side. Yes, you see, they gotta make, and these things are so worrying because, as I've said, all they're jumping around. You're talking about PR. You're talking about trying to win the confidence of members of the public and all that. But you have these things going on, people doing these things, and nothing happens. So now that we are talking about this, nobody's going to investigate, right? Nobody going to check, and nobody going to, even not investigate, nobody going to now try to hold instruction classes and say, look, this is the way these things must handle, right? And if people fail to handle it in the prescribed manner, to make sure the appropriate action is taken against him, that is not going to happen. That is not, everything going to just run. Everything going to run just like that. So for those of them, again, who are listening, let's hope that they take correct action to deal with this thing. And it's not a one-off. People have complained repeatedly of being told, oh, this is not we district, or we have a vehicle to go to deal with the thing now, and all of that. So, yes. Now, the next thing, and this is coming now, I got to get back my siren to blow when I come into these main issues and so on. They we talking about there's a agency called the World of Statistics. They compile all of these information on crimes and all of that. They got a site, World of Statistics site. I invite you to viewers, to Google it, and they're gonna see this. Now, recently being over the past couple of days, they gave a report which shows crime, the country with the highest crime rates in the world. Let me repeat that. The countries with the highest crime rate in the world. Let me do, I got a slide. I want to show you. I don't want to preempt anything. Let me show you, or let me find it, and I'm going to show you what they say. I'm going to show you exactly what they say. Look, you're going to read along with us. I have it up there. The world of the World of Statistics, WS, lists the most criminal countries, and that is what they say. I've been in quotation. The most criminal countries in the world, which was released on Wednesday, that is last Wednesday. The most criminal countries in the world released last Wednesday. The WS website describes itself as a global network of nearly 2,360 organizations worldwide, which is committed to compiling statistics to increase public awareness. The World of Statistics listing of countries with the 10 highest crime rates expressed in 100,000 people globally are the following. And they get something in the cutter, are the following. Look at it for yourself. Look at it for yourself. Sorry, let me go back to that. Look at it for yourself. Number one, Venezuela. And again, the figure there, 83.76. Number two, Papua New Guinea, the country in Africa, 80.70. Number three, South Africa, 76.86. Then you have Afghanistan, 76.31. Honduras, 74.54. Trinidad and Tobago, 71.63. And then you have Guyana at 68.73. You have El Salvador at 67.42. And the next you have there is Brazil at 67.49. And the last one you have there is Jamaica at 67.42, or 67 point something like that. So here it is. The people saying Guyana, our beautiful Guyana, they're in the top 10 of the country with the highest crime rates. I know the government gonna come out and they're gonna make a lot of noise about the methodology and all that. But look what I said, how they compile this thing. They said that the overall crime rate of a country is calculated by the divided. I got some mistake. Calculated by dividing the total number of reported crimes of any kind by the total population, then multiply that by 100,000, because crime rates are typically reported as X number of crime per 100,000 persons. That is what this organization is saying. And let me say this before I invite Mr. Conway to make a comment. If they're saying that this is based on reported crimes, they're saying that this calculation is based on reported crimes, then something is wrong. Because I say this to say that perhaps it is even worse, because we all know that crimes are underreported in Guyana. Crimes are underreported. So it's saying that this 7th position Guyana has is based on reported crimes, then God help us, to think even worse than what they are saying. It is worse than what they are saying. Let me bring in Mr. Conway for his comment. CC, comment here. What are your views?
You are very clear, and the thing is there for all to see. But let me try to put things in local content. I might be a bit long here. How are we evaluating our performance in the Guyana Police Force? They're talking about crime and they're tabulating figures. And this is a tabulation that is over 30 years old when Larry Lewis was commissioner. And he had 11 crimes that he classified as serious crimes. I'll write them down. Let me give you an idea. Murder, robbery, robbery under arms, robbery under instrument use, robbery under aggression, robbery with violence, larceny from the person, rape, break and enter, burglary, and kidnapping. 11 crimes they considered serious crimes. And if you look at it, robbery takes up 5 out of 11. You got robbery, robbery under arms, others, aggravation, robbery with violence. So they're not looking into other crimes like manslaughter. Apart from rape, no other sexual offense is catered for. No offense is catered for under the Domestic Violence Act. No offense is catered under the Drug Act. No offense is catered for under the traffic in person. So they just look at percentage increase and percentage decrease. And the other day they said that the crime decreased by 18%. And Mr. Brinsley, Horatio Robson Ben was very beaming when he said there was an 18% decrease in crime, which is dramatic, a dramatic decrease in crime. And they only catered for 11, which included five for robbery. So what they're doing is just tabulating figures. And I was reading Wayne Bennett and Karen Hess. They wrote a book, Management and Supervision in Law Enforcement. Here what they say. They say a low crime rate does not mean that the police is effective and efficient. A high arrest rate doesn't necessarily show that the police are doing a good job. A high ratio of police to citizens does not mean high police service. Responding quickly to calls for service does not necessarily mean that the police is efficient. The thing is that they're just looking at the figures and they're not looking in terms of the trend, the pattern. They're not asking question, is this a spree? Is this a series? Is this a hotspot? They're not doing deep analysis, looking at percentage increase and percentage decrease, and they're dealing with 11 crimes. So a lot of crimes are not accounted for. You know, the thing is that if you're looking at crime, you gotta look at the crime triangle. It's the victim, is the perpetrator, and the location. And what they're doing, they're spending a whole lot of time and money dealing with the victims and the perpetrators. Where's the location? Where the thing happening? And with the location, there's something called pixel, where things are happening politically, economically, socially, technological, and environmentally that are having a negative effect on the police performance towards crime. So what if people are saying, or Bennett and Hess saying, is that if you want to know how well you're doing, look at your customers. Go to the public. Go and do citizens survey. And again, a lot of people could do citizens survey. Instead of getting people like Dr. Paul Williams at the Civil Defense Commission, instead of getting 2 senior superintendents there, instead of getting 2 superintendents there, they need to move them from there because they already get a retired colonel in charge here. Bring them in the police force and let them do citizen survey. Let them go to the citizens and find out exactly how they feel, the perception of the person. So if you want to know how well you're doing, I'm saying to you, hey, go to the citizens and find out. Don't look at percentage increasing. They will tell you how well you're doing. And also you need to look at your mandate. And here is the police mandate. Just bear with me a while, let me read it. Section 3.2 of the Police Act says, the force shall be employed for the prevention and detection of crime, the preservation of law and order, the preservation of peace, the repression of internal disturbances, the protection of property, the apprehension of offenders, and the due enforcement of all laws and regulations which it is directly charged, and shall perform such military duties within Guyana as may be required of it by under the authority of the minister. It's not that you're running about the place with the president, you're going to Letem, you're going to Borbis, you're storing up pot for the president, you go up on social media and you say you're eating healthy and you're steaming fried fish and everything, or you're that MOM and you're building houses for people, and the police in an oil-rich country, the oil-producing country, you get police, your strike force from the TSU sleeping on paper. And also, if you look at you saw a photograph in the news, in the media, where the toilet facilities atrocious. And also, they need to look at their mission statement. Paul, they get a new mission statement. And a lot of people there, what they call a strategic plan, is 101 pages. And page 41 said they get a new mission statement. And let's go into it. They said the mission of Guyana Police Force is to provide professional and accountable law enforcement services through a multi-stakeholder approach driven by capital SMART, smart technology, resource effectiveness, diversification, reciprocal respectability, and increased public peace. Let me underline some of them. What is smart technology? What is resource effectiveness? What is diversification? What is reciprocal respectability? And how do you increase the public peace? The thing is that if you're going to have a mission statement, it's got to be smart. That's smart technology. It's got to be specific. It got to be measurable. It's got to be achievable. It got to be realistic, and it got to be timely. And when you look at the new mission statement that the strategic unit put forward, it can't work. It is wrong, wrong, wrong. Therefore, we always get trouble. They can't solve crime. They can't reduce crime because the mission is flawed.
Thank you. Thank you for that, CC. Thank you. Now, someone asked a question when they saw the top 10, where is Haiti? I don't know. As I said, I gave you the reference there. You can check the World of Statistics website. I looked at it. I looked at the website. The website is very much there, and it has all the information, not only on the top 10, it has the least amount of crimes and all of that. So for those persons who are asking there about, like Carl and them, Sean, what happened to Haiti, go and look at the site. Go and look. I don't know. I didn't. I just put this 10 that they put out there, and you're ashamed to know Guyana is in that top 10. You're ashamed. So as the thing actually said, is to make sure that information is given to the public. They will say all kind of things, They will go and say they're going to criticize the methodology used, and they're going to do all of that. Well, they are free to do so. But we know that if you live in Guyana or you follow the news in Guyana, a lot of things, crimes taking place. This week, you had a canter driver in Eccles murdered some robbery, and he fought back. He was stabbed and killed, or shot and killed. He was killed, right? You had other murders around the place, but Norman Street execution-style murder, right? Unsolved. You get Fagundes, unsolved. You get during December last year, I think it was, a man executed right in busy Regent Street. The man who is alleged to have been involved in this gold theft on the East Coast, somebody took him out right in the heart of the public, right? And so therefore we know, and let me show you all this one too. I want to show you where it is. Let me show you when they talk about crime. Let me show you. You judge for yourself. Look at this one. Look.
What you doing? I want you to go.
Folks, what you just saw there, the first slide, the first video, black and white, is somebody rode up on a motorcycle and went up to the gate of the resident of this man, I think Bruce, Kelvin Bruce. He's accused of being the Mudwater character. You could hear when they cocked the firearm and they discharged, I think they claimed about 8 bullets into the car and the resident of this man who was there, I understand, with his wife and his young child. That is what took place there. And the second video showed the damage which was caused to the car and the building. So when you give people the impression that, look, or when you want to complain or you want to say that crime is not what these reputable organizations are reported, you have to come better than that. You have to come. We live it. We live there and we see it every day. And a lot of these things are not reported. You see, one of the things now where they fail to recognize that with social media, even when they fail to report it. Because, for example, the crime that we talk about with this police inspector, I don't think it is reported in any the regular media or social media. So all of these PR people for these, they're not reporting that. But people know. People know because it is there for people to see. They're not reporting it, right? So there you have this man, right up, nothing happened. Shots fired, 8 bullets fired. And based on my experience, it would have been a semi-automatic firearm. There's no indication that the perpetrator attempted to pick up any empty casing or so on. So after the police recover it with a view to making sure that they do proper ballistic investigation. Bullet passed through car, bullet would have lodged in wall. I hope they recover all of those things to do a proper and thorough investigation. If it is that the firearm used was a legal firearm, then I know that there was a database, there was a ballistic database on all firearms. I don't know if that was discontinued. Even if it is not a legal firearm, one would expect that they will record it and have it there just in case it matches some previous crime or some crime in the future. But that is how the thing is to be done. But you're telling people, you're giving the impression all of this decrease in crime and decrease in crime, and you get all. It doesn't ring true. And one of the reasons why it doesn't ring true, because you have no credibility. You don't have credibility. So what you say, people have to take it in a bag of salt. You have been proven to be wrong so frequently that when you say anything now, people do not believe you. CC, you want to comment on that video that we just, 2 videos?
Sure. And it boggles the mind, Paul. I remember the last police officers conference. I think they quoted the head of state of saying that the safe city, the cameras will replace boots on the ground. So all those things that we seen, the camera picking up, they haven't been able to at least link one to somebody or some incident. You mentioned about the ballistics database. I can't remember when last I read or I heard that they pick up a spent shell or a warhead and trace it to some other weapon, or they trace it to some other scene that you could say, hey, this same weapon that fire here was used at the scene at Buxton or some other place. What happened with the forensic investigation? What happened with the ballistic tests that they used to do? Yeah? Or they don't, I don't know if they have a ballistic expert or as the case may be. But the thing is that they're not doing scientific investigation. They're not doing ballistics. They just sit down there, and they're not managing crime scene. You win or you lose a case at the scene of a crime. Lockhart Theory of Exchange telling you something on left there. Or the man gonna carry away something, find a shot button, find a piece of cloth and link it to the perpetrator. But no, 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 no. They want confession. And when confession goes through the window, the case gone through the window. So they're not doing no real kind of investigation. Tell me when last, I repeated myself, you heard they find a casing or a warrant at the scene and link it to somebody or link it to some other place in it. Those things are not being done. Maybe maybe the database somebody must destroy the database. It must crash.
But he brought up in the fire where they had at the CID headquarters, or they can say been in Brigham. They had the Brigham, so the fire in Brigham destroyed it. Now continue to share your life. We get another juicy issue to deal with. I want to make sure that I know the class full, people hanging from the rafter, people all over. But as we say, you gotta small up yourself. You gotta small up yourself and make space for others. The other issue that I want to deal with is, again, come back to the Attorney General, Anil Nandalal. Following the ruling of the judge on the 24th of March, where he found that the president acted unconstitutionally when he suspended the Police Service Commission. He went on NCN, that is the National Communication Network, and he made us a statement trying to justify the action, the unconstitutional action of the president. He said there too that he was the state intend to appeal. Well, Anil, we waiting for this appeal. It's almost a month now. They come now, bring it, show it up, send through appeal. Let me see what you're saying. What are the grounds for your appeal? But during the course of that same program, he mentioned that he talked about the morale of the police, and he wanted to say that the actions of the Police Service Commission that we served in led to the force being demoralized. See, I gonna point out some of the issues that led to that are leading, that have led and continue to lead to the demoralization of the police force. And I get them listed. Some are listed. First of all, is the political interference in the police force. Political interference. The politicians controlling everything now in the police force. Tell you all these people who are being charged, wanted bulletin issued. A man like Takumo Gonsi shackled, right? Them things are politically directed. You have the dog whistles, where the vice president and the same AG, they make a statement in relation to Jordan that is disappointed in Soku for not dealing with former government officials. Shortly thereafter, arrest and charge. They made the same dog whistle with Ogunsi, arrest and charge. Those things are leading to the demoralization of the force, political interference, even transfers. I understand, even leave. People want got to leave. They got to senior people outside the force to get their annualized vacation leave. So those are some of the things. Let me tell you others too. Having unqualified persons in senior positions ahead of their more qualified counterpart. And this is one of the missing all the time. Let me tell you what I mean by that. I did the research somewhere. We talk, Mr. Conway. We talk about command positions in the force. Command positions in the force. And I have the stats here. Kagaj, Kagaj. I have it right here. Region Police Division 1, headed by Hemant Shah, Deputy Commander, and the Deputy Commander is Deputy Superintendent Hali. We have in Region 2, headed by Superintendent Shiv Baran. The deputy there is Dio Ruplal. We have Region 3, headed by Srinarayan, Assistant Commissioner Srinarayan. The second is Senior Superintendent Khalid Mandal. You get Region 4B, that is East Bank, headed by Senior Superintendent Mahendra Singh. The deputy is Superintendent Ravindra Stanley, an Indian. You get Region 4C, headed by Assistant Commissioner Pazram. You have Region 6, which is East Borbis, headed by Senior Superintendent Shiv Prasad Bakas. Up to recently, the head there is Deputy Superintendent Vishnu Hunt, another Indian. And you get operations, you get admin, you get SOKU, you get finance, you get the divisional traffic officers, you get the divisional detective office. All of these people All of these things. And that is what they don't want to talk about it, but it is there for all of see. This is Mr. Shear talk about empirical evidence at some forum yesterday. Check and see. This is not me making this up. Region 1, the head and the deputy head are Indians. Region 2, the same thing. Region 3, the same thing. Region 4B, the same thing. Region 4C, the head is a Indian. Region 6, the head up to recently, the head and the deputy are Indians. And you will argue, they will argue about the ethnic imbalance in the police force. In other words, they will argue that you have more Africans in the police. That is a fact. So how then do you justify? How then do you justify all of these people from the other ethnic group being in all of these senior command positions? Before I go on, CC, let me bring you in to say something there.
Yeah, and the thing is, they're looking for us looking at loyalty as against ability. And I recall, I have Brutus on record where he said that at the last promotion, the unlawful promotion, or the promotion that the Chief Justice saved due to the doctrine of necessity, um, they Brutus said that when they're looking at promotion, they look at the race and they look at gender. And the thing is that in the senior superintendent, the assistant commissioner and superintendent, those persons who were promoted, they who took the gold medal were persons of one race, which is not the dominant race. And even the women, not a woman could become a senior superintendent or an assistant commissioner. It is glaring. It is glaring. And watch who is or who will be the next deputy commissioner, deputy head of special branch. Check and see who is or who will be of a certain race. So they're using the race thing, and they're looking at persons who are loyal to them. They're not looking at persons with the ability. So they're promoting or they're positioning a lot of incompetent people all over the place and at strategic locations in their strongholds. They're keeping them there. And some of the division, I think even in region 2, the traffic man is of the same race as the commando and the 2IC. And there are many more, but let me pause for a while.
Yeah, let me continue. Let me continue. So again, remember we talking about the statement made by the Attorney General about the ranks in the force being demoralized, and he want to blame the police service commission that we served in. Well, let me continue. You get look, recruitment and promotion of persons, presidential guard. Let me tell you this. You get person join the presidential guard on the 24th of August. Remember, the president was sworn in on the 2nd of August 2020. People joined the force on the 24th of August 2020, a mere 22 days, 3 weeks after. And they were promoted to sergeant on the 7th September 2020. So they joined in August 2020. And in September the same year, they are promoted to sergeant. Those are the things that are demoralizing the members of the force. So you have hardworking members of the force who are there, detective, traffic, general duties all around. Diligent, hardworking people who are not corrupt, and they can't get promoted. And here you have a case where people join in August and they're promoted in September to sergeant. You had what they call the induction of the 29 prosecutors, people from off the road. You take people from out of the UG somewhere, 29 of them, promote them or induct them into the force. That's the word they use. They inducted them into the force, and then they promoted them sergeant. Said join the force as a sergeant. Nothing wrong with that. But what happened to, well, I shouldn't say nothing wrong with that. The question is, what happened to all those persons who are prosecuting regularly with all the experience in the court prosecuting, who are corporals and who are lance corporals? What, they did not deserve promotion? So why are they prosecuting if they did not deserve the promotion? Let me go on. Let me go on. You get we talking again. You get ranks who were promoted by the Service Commission on the 28th of June 2021. Government refused to recognize their promotion. And among them, you had women who were promoted to senior superintendent. Government refused to recognize the promotion. That is demoralizing those persons. And I am calling on them to you got to fight your own battle. I said it last week and I'm repeating it here because 42 of those persons are adversely affected by the promotion which was made on the 2nd of July 2022, which the Chief Justice ruled the de facto doctrine to save, but people are affected. So you are going to sit back and take it. It's up to you. People are going, whether you're going to sit back, you were promoted by the Police Service Commission on the 28th of June 2021. The Attorney General went on the same national telecommunication network on the 29th of June and said the government will not recognize the promotions. The promotions have not been recognized. The judge ruled that the suspension of the Police Service Commission was unlawful, null, void, and of no legal effect. And therefore, I will think that all actions taken by that Service Commission that I chaired are lawful and should be given the necessary effect. So the Attorney General, you jump up and you're talking, but I waited and I sit back and wait. Let me tell you some more thing that is causing the force to demoralize. Mr. Conway referred to it a while ago. You had a policeman, a calling name. The records are there. Prem Narayan. Prem Narayan got 3 promotions since he joined the force. 3. He got promoted to corporal. From corporal, he promoted to inspector. And from inspector in July the last year, he promoted from inspector to superintendent. Ahead of all type of people who far more qualified. And what is his qualification? When you had the fiasco at the Ashman building there, he was part of the group with the then opposition people, including the now vice president and others who they say stormed the Ashman building. He was part of that group. He was part. So he's been rewarded for that type of unprofessional action. He was stationed at West Demerara, left to go to court, found himself there at Ashman building, leading. Remember when they were trying to break in to the chairman's office? He was part of that group. The video is there to show he was part. If you tell, if you think I tell, let us sue, let me go to court, and let me produce the evidence. We have the evidence. So this man promoted 3 promotions: corporal to inspector, inspector to superintendent. And I understand now they can't find place to put him because he ain't qualified for the rank. So I understand he been Region 2 in a position that is normally held by a sergeant. And I understand now that they're moving him from Region 2. Because nobody want him. No, nobody want him. They want him with me. And they're finding some place. Maybe I hear he might end up himself at Special Branch. So, well, he and Watts going to make a good combination there. Bati and Poe. Then, let me tell you next thing. Let me tell you next thing, Mr. Attorney General, that is causing the ranks to be demoralized. You get Brutus, and this is at senior level. I said last week, me and representing them. I am not representing all those who were suddenly pushed down the line, but I am dealing with the issue. You make Brutus now jump in front of all the people and put himself senior to all them assistant commissioners who were promoted on July 2nd. So all of a sudden, he is now senior to Budram, he's now senior to Watts, he's senior to Blanham, and all of them. Not only he and Karimbash. And they're grumbling. As I say, I'm not representing their cause, but I got to put the facts out there. I got to put the facts to show what is going on in the force and what is causing people to be demoralized. That is what is causing people to be demoralized. And if you want to tackle crime and deal with crime, you can't have a demoralized police force. You have to have people who are motivated to do the work. Let me tell you more. Coming back to the same accident where this corporal from the Presidential Guard unfortunately lost his life. I'm bringing Mr. Conway after this one. I want to monopolize the button, even though the bowling sweet. I'm gonna give you peace at the baton to take on some of the bullying. This man who died recently on the highway, it was Sunday on the East Bank. Hear this, people, hear this. Let all them what they up the place and take note and so on. This man joined the force in 2021, November. Listen carefully. He joined the force in November of 2021. Check the report. The man is a corporal. They talk about a corporal being, is a detective, not detective, a corporal from the Presidential Guard. Less than 2 years service. And he's a corporal in the Presidential Guard. The man he has not even completed his probationary period. Because for those of you who don't know, when a person joins the force, you join and you're a probationer for 2 years. And again, I urge these ranks to go and read. Let me give the relevant sections. Again, I like to give the reference. So whatever I say, you can follow up and see if it's true. Section 29 of the Police Act, Chapter 1601. It says here, let me read it for you. Section 29 of 1601. It says, subject to the provisions hereunder contained, a person joining the force as a constable shall be on probation for a period of 2 years. After the expiration of that probational, if the probation is efficient, of good character, and qualified as hereunder stated for further service, he then shall be confirmed in his appointment in the force. So when you join the force, the first 2 years, you are a probationer. People like Ulrich, people like Pito, CC can relate to that, and I will hope you want to make some comment on it. So for the first 2 years, you're a probationer, and what used to happen is that then you go back into training school for your a period of training, and then you're confirmed as a member of the force. So you have a man, he ain't even a proper police yet, and he's promoted to corporal from the Presidential Guard. You get people, I sure the man can't even take a proper statement or investigate a matter, but he can't do it now because he's dead, even before he died. Similarly, those who are recruited and promoted sergeant within a month of joining the force can't even take a proper statement. Yeah, thanks. They got to go for final training. And they are promoted, and not only the promotion, but they are promoted ahead of a lot of competent people who are there working diligently day and night. Detectives, traffic people, and people from all the other branches working diligently day and night and can't catch a leaving one stripe. And a man with less than 2 years service, all his qualification is that, look, he used to work at a certain minister's residence, he and others, and either the beg or the minister decide they're going to promote it. But the man promoted to corporal. Those things are demoralizing members of the force. People will tell you 5-6 years in the force, even longer than that. They have passed the appropriate qualifying examination. I sure this man have passed no examination. I sure he never even sat the examination. I sure the people who came in as sergeants at the Presidential Guard in 2020 came in as constable, promoted to sergeant within a month or so. They have passed no examination, and the requirement is that for you to be promoted from a constable to corporal, you have to pass the appropriate qualifying examination. Even if you're a specialist, there are specialist examinations for them to take. So those are the things that are, and I have a couple more. But let me bring in Mr. Conway to make the comment. I'll say I want to dominate this button. Sisi, have a piece of this button, man.
All right, thanks to give me as a tail ender, to score a better runs. But I won't be able like West Indian tail enders, fire while swiping get out. I'll be more productive than them. Because as you rightly mentioned, Paul, probationer stone sergeant at the Presidential Guard, probationer stone sergeant at the courts, and the whole thing is that we resurrecting Dr. Peter principle. Well, you have a pastor, a man of God as chairman of the Police Service Commission. So perhaps he could he has resurrected Dr. Peter and promoting a whole set of incompetence. I was gonna refer to the last promotion on the 4th of July. The chairman said, Bishop Finley said, that the He's waiting on the list of recommendations from the commissioner. And on the second, 250 something persons get promoted. No due diligence. And a certain member of the service commission asked, we're not going to check files, we're not going to check records. And he was shut down. He was told, hey, I was told that whatever the police send and give me, let me promote. We don't know the police, so let me promote who they send. So they rubber stamp the promotion. They didn't add, they didn't alter, they didn't correct anything. And those things are demoralizing. And as you mentioned, them at the top, the assistant commissioners who masquerading as deputy commissioners, they're grumbling among themselves that Brutus come and get ahead of them, and Brutus get more money than them without any justification. There is where they think they did at the top, and they did it somewhere officer level. 29 come. So they're blocking we. I remember the man who sits in the seat went to Barbies, and there was a young and brilliant policeman. He was the best cop for this Region 6, the best cop for Region 6. And he couldn't even get a one stripe. My wife just say he couldn't even get a piece of stripe because the top man said that the vacancy filled. He can't promote any anybody, but they promote for political reasons. They promote 29 persons as sergeant. So the whole thing they're demoralizing people, Paul. They're demoralizing people. And but as we say, we ain't fighting the case. If they want to fight the case, there's their story. But we're telling it like it is, and they can't contradict what we're saying. What we're talking is facts, and you can't contradict them. As you said, the former commissioner, facts are a stubborn thing. They're staring you in the face. They ain't getting away.
And let me he said too about they talk about ranks. One of the reasons too is the working conditions, atrocious working conditions in the force, and nobody is doing anything about it. Let me show you one. People look at this one. You may have seen it before, but look at it. Mr. Conway referred to it
Squad
a
of the
while ago. Look what's
fastest
going on
growing
here.
economy in the world is
This is
sleeping.
ranks
And y'all
from the
wonder why
TSU.
some police officer does take bribe and turn to crime to make
They're
a
sleeping
extra
for
money when the month
newspaper.
come.
That was
If
some
the
duty
oil
they're
money
sleeping
is
for
not reaching the
newspaper.
Guyana
And you're
police
talking about
force,
the
how
people
will it
being
reach the poor
demoralized.
citizens of Guyana?
Huh?
Is this the one
People
Guyana
being
President
demoralized. This is
Irfan
what is
Ali speaks
demoralizing
about?
people. There's another one with to show the bathroom conditions, and somebody told me, they said, look, I have it somewhere. They said that people with the local government elections and all of that, they are mobilizing ranks to work. And they said, look, they talk about the female ranks. They have no place to stay. They ain't got no place. They have no place to stay for the female people. They're repairing some of these buildings and so on. No provision for them to stay in buildings, but they want them to travel and to come down and to do whatever. That is what is causing people to be demoralized. And of course, the big one that everybody knows is the peanuts that you're paying. You're paying peanuts. They boasted when they had the last increase that the constable salary moved from I think 90 something thousand to 102 or something like that, $104,000 for constable who joined the force. And the same time, a private security company, one that is run or is headed by one of their supporters, advertise. I get the ad somewhere that is recruiting security persons, and they starting salaries $120 something thousand. And they made a point that they only working 5 days a week. So what you're talking about people being demoralized? You and your government are the ones who are causing ranks in the force to be demoralized. And as I said, I sat back here waiting patiently when you all come with this nonsense. This is not long ago where you can use your propaganda machine to put out a certain state. I am going to counter it, and I am countering it with facts. I am countering it with facts. So all the things that I have stated, all the things that CC stated can be supported, can be easily corroborated if you have the intelligence, or if you have the will to go and check. All of the commanders we talk, go and check to see. Go and check to see all the regions. And I got more to talk about that. I have more to speak about that. But let me move on. CC, unless you want to say anything more on that. Do
No,
you?
it's just that you, let me use some cricketing term. You score a lot of runs, and off some balls you score 7 runs because many of them were no balls, and you hit them for 6.
Yeah, and here let me tell you the next thing. Man, this one caused me to smile and swan. Stabrook News editorial, I think it was Monday. And I encouraging our listeners and our viewers to look at Monday's Stabrook News editorial. They address the incident at Providence Police Station. Now, for those of you who don't know about this incident, let me give a brief recap or a brief recount of what took place. A man, a truck driver by the name of Goodluck, said he went somewhere in the Diamond area, sent by his boss to collect some machinery or something. He parked someplace waiting to collect this thing. A man came to him and told him, say, hey, you can't park here. He said, look, I'm just waiting for collect something. The man insisting that he must move. Anyhow, the thing escalated. Because the man went on the phone, he called some man, the man who's supposed to be the boss man or the boss man's son, roll up in a pickup, and he had his enforcers with him. At which stage, apparently, at some stage, the driver, Mr. Goodluck, decided that he was going to record what's going on. They demanded the phone. They demanded his phone. And when he refused to give his phone, one of the enforcers climbed up on his truck, pointed a gun at him, and took away the phone from him. He then went to to Providence Police Station and he made a report. He said the man struck him in his head with a gun as well. He made a report and he requested to get a medical. He was sent to medical, and the following day, he returned with his brother and his mother to Providence Police Station to follow up on the matter. And while there, they looked across the gas station. Those of you who know Providence Police Station, right across on the western side, there's a gas station. When he looked over, he saw the same pickup and the same characters over there. So he told the police, he said, look, the men who assaulted me and who stole my phone and put gun at me, look them over there. You know what the police tell them? Police say, well, look, we got to call the patrol. Hey, this thing got easy, you know. Across the road, the police tell Mr. Goodluck, there's what Mr. Goodluck stated. He had a video with this thing on social media. He said the police told him that they were going to send for the patrol to go across the road and to arrest these persons. The brother of Mr. Goodluck then decided to go across the road and to video record these people. So he went there, he took out his phone, he was recording them, and when they saw him recording them, they moved towards him, and he felt they wanted to take away his phone. So he ran into the police station. The man was pursued by these men, pursued by the two enforcers into the police station. His mother is alleged to have been slapped by one of the men. She died on there. She said, one slap, one of them gave the mother. He now in there with the police, and he said when he looked, he saw one of them had a bulk in his waist, which he suspected to be a firearm. And as he was looking to him, when the man recognized that he may have seen this bulk, which was the firearm, he reached for it. And Goodluck decided that he's going to hold on to this firearm because he suspected, he was afraid that if the man took out the gun, the man would have shot. So he hold on, and they had a scuffle. During the course of the scuffle, the gun went off. Buddy, the man said when the gun went off, the police ran out the station. Now this thing is so, we have for the people who are not Guyanese, we have a satirical show, No Big Thing, and that thing where these things are dramatized on TV, on radio. Just say the man ran out, the two policemen, when the gun went off, ran out the police station. He managed to overpower this enforcer and he took away the gun. And of course, he had no intention to do anybody harm because he had possession of the gun and he didn't do anything. Since December, that is the editorial, since December to now, this is April, December to now, nothing has happened in that matter. Nothing has happened in this matter. I know what, Stabrook News, let me read what the last part of the editorial. This is what I find very, very interesting. Stabrook News says, with the ever-evolving security risk facing the country on a number of fronts, The police force has to get serious about investigation like Mr. Goodluck's and invest less in dance contests and cook-up rice competition. Let me read the last part. He said they must invest less in dance contests and cook-up rice competition. That's what they're doing. They're not. And I add here, in addition to that, they must, you have them building pavement and being the big man being let's say big man, yeah, big. The man who sits in the chair, being the president's bridesmaid, and other non-core activities. You got to get involved in your core activities. So this thing here, again, I invite you to read the editorial in Saarbrück News. I think it's Monday. I know now you have to subscribe. I don't think you have to subscribe to read the editorial. If you want to read news, read news items, they allow you to read. But I don't think, if you want to read news item, you might have to subscribe. But if you're going online, I think they allow you to read the editorial, even if you're not a subscriber. Read the editorial. There was skating in the comments about the action of the police in this particular matter involving Mr. Goodluck. And again, why Jackie Opel pay? Jackie Opel is there, people got to pay. So it looked like the people with money can do anything and get away with it. Anything and get away with it. Mr. Conway, your comments, please.
That's true, Paul. But here may swing a bit. I'm a bit concerned with the security arrangements for the president and his household. Remember, we had a Nigerian enter that place, stab up a police. And by the way, I hear like he did Providence police station, stab up a police. The president pin on a two-stripe on the in the pajama at the Joshua Hospital there. Then they had one of them thief a ring. Then this other one may be unfortunate, crash up and die. What really is happening with the security? The president had boasted that when he go overseas, how do he get good review about the professional way the Guyana police force is operating. Perhaps he can't talk so anymore. And I been saying all the time that the security of the president must be second to none. Whether we like it or not, whether or not the president has been flagrantly violating the letter, spirit, intent of some of the most sacrosanct constitutional procedure. He is the head of state. He is the sitting president. And as long as he's sitting there, he and his household must have the best security in this country. But no, who they have there at the head, nothing is being done. And I ain't get you don't let me your crystal ball, Paul. But if I'm watching the crystal ball, I'm going to see more incidents going to happen with the presidential security and maybe more serious than what took place.
Well, we hope not. We hope not, because as you rightly pointed out, the president is the president of the country. But if you have an electrician in charge of the security, what do you expect? An electrician who by all account should have been in retirement, we should have retired. But you bring it back because of, for whatever reason, and therefore you're going to have these type of things. You're going to have these type of things. And let me wind down by saying, and let me, before I go off, I see Adi Mac, said she wrote exam, you pass the exam, and all this other thing, you get scraped. She said she uncle was the commissioner. Yet still, no nepotism, you have to make sure that you're qualified. Then he said she passed the inspectorate examination, was barely recognized with a one stripe. So a lance corporal. So you have to qualify yourself. And in many cases, when you qualified yourself by passing the appropriate examination, the competition was so stiff that you couldn't make the grade. Now you have people, can you imagine this? Because as I've said before, members of the Presidential Guard are police ranks. They are police. The Presidential Guard is a branch of the police force, right? And a question was asked here a while ago whether they still do direct recruiting into the force. I suspect they still do that, direct recruiting in the force, but you still have to go through a program of training. And when it comes to the appropriate qualifying examination, if the unit is determined to be a specialist unit, then they have special examination for them to take and qualify themselves before they are promoted. But here we have a situation where people are recruited in August, promoted to sergeant, not corporal or lance corporal, sergeant in September. And here, let me tell you one, with one of the persons who was recruited in August, promoted to this rank of sergeant in September, that is 2020. In 2021, he received a letter from the then man who sat in the chair of the commissioner, Nigel Appy, to advise him that he was going to retire from the force in 2022. Hear this, buddy. Carry on story, joke galore. The man joined in August 2020, promoted to sergeant in September 2020. And in 2021, the man who is acting or carrying out the functions of commissioner writes to him to tell him that he is thanking him for his 18 months of yeoman service as he is due to retire in the year 2022. But this thing is so ridiculous. And the Attorney General jumping on TV and telling people about trying to justify and try to advance reasons of people being demoralized. It's thing like that. This is joke. All there was everything there that I just said to you in terms of his recruitment, promotion, and retirement, contrary to law, contrary to all the regulations and so on. But that is what you have. That is what you have. So when you see these things happening at the Presidential Guard, you ought not to be surprised. I headed the Presidential Guard for a period of time in 1994 when Dr. Jagan was president. So I'm more familiar than most with how the Presidential Guard should function. And I can tell you what's going on here now is not how it should function. It is not how. You had a man with less than 2 years service. What qualifies him to be a corporal? Because remember when you get corporal or you get somebody say lime skin when you get thing there, you're now a supervisor. You're expected to supervise ranks. You're expected to supervise ranks. What qualities he would have displayed? And even if he displayed those qualities, the law that I read to you earlier, he's a probationer. He doesn't have 2 years service. He does not have 2 years service, so he's not entitled for promotion. That's what the law says. That is what the Police Act, Section 29, says. And all of these things are violated. And so therefore, when you have issues like this, you can't be surprised. And all the lies, I told you all about the lies told by the Prime Minister Mark Phillips. I wrote about it. I told you all about the lies, and these are lies in an affidavit. And if you lie in an affidavit, that is supposed to be perjury, right? Yesterday I had a smile because if you're following the news in America, you would know that following the elections, which elected Mr. Biden as president in 2020, November 2020, the Republicans led by the then President Trump said, they think they rigged, they think they thief. They blame Dominion. Dominion is a company that provided the voting systems and so on. They say Dominion rigged the thing. Dominion sue Fox News because all of this propaganda was pushed on Fox News and those conservative news media. And Dominion sued them for 1.6 billion American dollars. They make us satanized. And then it was discovered during disclosure, because when you have these things, you get disclosure. In other words, you got to give all the information you have, right? When Fox News submitted the information and so on, inside of the news players, all of the broadcasters were saying how Trump lost the election. How all of the things that they were saying there were not true. But when they go on air to speak to the public, they were pushing this thing that, the election was stolen, all this fraud. So Dominion sued them. And during disclosure, all of these contradictions were revealed. Yesterday, Tuesday, the 18th of April 2023, they decided to settle. Fox News decided to settle for $787,500,000 US. You hear the figure? $750 million they settled for. And the point I want to make is that the Fox News lawyer, I made a note on an interview he had yesterday. He said 3 words. He said, lies have consequences. Let me repeat that. The lawyer says lies have consequences. And I am saying that people like Mark Phillips and Jago Bin Zaising, who told those lies in affidavit, easily provable. Things that can be easily proved to be lies. Lies have consequences. I remember I've been telling you all along, my loyal and faithful viewers, this game is not done as you like. It's not done as you like, right? And the next thing I want to tell you is that I wrote a letter which appeared in the news Sunday on the website. I want you to read it because I took the time to point out exactly why the president violated the Constitution and suspended the Police Service Commission that I chaired and that Conway was a member of. I'm going to recount it here now, but I invite you to go and read it. It's there on social media. It is there. Stabrook News had the letter, and Kaicho News had the letter in Sunday, and it appears on Village Voice News. It has appeared all over. Read it. And again, I say to them, if you're telling any lie, y'all march me up the court step. If you're telling any lie. Because I outlined the sequence of events that led to the unconstitutional suspension and the reason why that was done. The reason why the president decided to violate the Constitution to suspend the commission unconstitutionally. And I argued that he suspended unconstitutionally, and the judge agreed. The judge agreed. I am writing because all of these things will be brought to your attention. And I don't believe, even though we have all these thousands of people watching this program, either live or eventually they go on YouTube and watch it, I am saying that the truth will be revealed. You know, before March 24th, I was constrained because the matter was before the court, and I could not have been telling you what I'm telling you now because they have this sub judice rule which says that once a matter is pending before the court, you should not be commenting on it. So I could not have been commenting all along, but now that the judge has rendered his decision, I get enough more to tell you. I have enough more to tell you, right? And you are going to be, you judge for yourself. As I said, facts, I am putting the facts out there. I am putting the facts out there. What happened? The 2 letters from Prime Minister Mark Phillips, and I get a strong belief. Well, I would wager that even though Mark Phillips signed them letter, he ain't got a clue as to what the contents of the letter were. He just decided he signed blind. But you know, once your signature is at the bottom, you have to stand responsibility for all that is above your signature. All that is above, you have to stand responsibility for. So I am going to make sure that you, the public, and not only people who watch and speaking out, that is why I'm putting it in the newspaper. I am putting it on social media for people to see, and you judge for yourself, because I am putting the events and the facts out there. And I know that you people are sensible enough to pick sense out of nonsense. Now, let me invite Mr. Conway to make his closing remarks. CC, your closing remarks, please.
Yeah, I want to urge the police. I know they've been listening, the executive leadership team, I understand they've listened, to relook, or not relook, to tweak their mission statement, which is contained in page 41 of what they call a strategic plan. If it could be tweaked, because it is not smart, it is not specific, it is not measurable, it is not achievable, it is not realistic, it is not timely. So before they take it a step forward, let them try to tweak it if it could. Because if not, seek advice from people, man. Seek advice from people, because if the mission is wrong, the whole police force is going to go wrong, and the country will continue to suffer. We will continue to suffer with incompetence and corruption. That's what I want to close with. The joke we.
I think I was speaking there and I wasn't in the studio. So I'm saying that before you go, CC, I recognize and check in my itinerary that I realize that next week, Wednesday, is the
Court.
26th of April, and we have court. We have
Yeah.
court in this trumped up charge. So
Yeah.
viewers, it is hardly likely that we are going to be here next week. However, as I've said to you, if you subscribe to the YouTube channel and if you hit the notification button, you're gonna be advised if we have a program, because depending on how things go, I don't know, and depending on developments during the week, we may very well have a special program later. I don't know. I'm not promising that, but I'm saying stay tuned and we are going to let you know what is going on. But as of now, I don't think we're going to have a program next week because we have court. I think one matter is 10:30 or something in the morning. So it doesn't give us the time to run the program at the usual time. So stay tuned. Now, I would like to urge you all, as I would normally do, to be careful out there. COVID is still around, and you have the real killer now in Guyana, these fires and the several road accidents. You're not safe to walk around, robberies and all of that. And therefore be careful. Always be conscious of your surrounding. Always be conscious of your surrounding. And I would have expected the police propaganda unit should be out there putting out tips on road safety, tips on general safety, how to go about, how to walk, how to take your money and all that. All the people who jumping around and making all sort of nice too, it's about time they put up proposals for Guyana to go more plastic. You still have a situation in Guyana where a lot of business places don't accept checks or credit cards. So if you have to do a transaction right across town, you have to go to the bank, withdraw millions of dollars, and then go across the road to pay for a transaction. All of those things have to be looked at. You have to look at this thing comprehensively if you want to address the crime. Not just come out there with some statistics to tell people, oh, we have an increase in crime and all of that. And the last thing I want to mention, next week, when we meet again, there was a statement. Again, read today's paper. They had some issue to deal where Minister Teixeira made some statement yesterday, yesterday, but it was published today, about the transparency group talking about corruption in Guyana. So I'm going to read it, I'm going to digest it, and one of these days, either next week or very soon, I'm gonna address that. In other words, the transparency people talking about corruption in Guyana, and she want to say that the methodology wrong, and they're just attacking Guyana and Caribbean countries for whatever reason. That is what she's saying. Well, I'm gonna deal with that. As I say, when they come with these long up, you gotta lash them out of the place for 6. So until we meet again, whether it's next week, Wednesday, or the following week, or whether you have a special program, my friends, I want you to take care, stay safe, and take care, stay safe, and we will see you when we meet next. Let me play my tune and be out of here until we meet again.